Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist, and I'd like to welcome you to this special 5-part podcast series sponsored by Affiliated Monitors, which celebrates Affiliated Monitors' 15 years in business as the first entity specializing in independent integrity monitoring. Founded in 2004, Affiliated Monitors provides independent integrity monitoring and ethics and compliance assessments nationally and internationally and across almost all industries. With its knowledge of effective ethics and compliance programs and cultures, Affiliated Monitors is respected for its work as the corporate monitor on matters ranging from multinational corporations to small and mid-sized companies and even individuals. Having served in nearly 750 monitorships, no one has more experience as an independent monitor than the team at Affiliated Monitors. For more information on how an independent monitor can help improve your company's ethics and compliance programs, visit this podcast series sponsor, Affiliated Monitors, at www.affiliatedmonitors.com. Over this 5-part podcast series, I visit with Vin DiCiani, the president, founder, and CEO of Affiliated Monitors, and we talk about and celebrate the history of Affiliated Monitors. In our first podcast, we look at the idea which DiCiani formed, which led to the founding of Affiliated Monitors. In episode 2, we discuss the early days of Affiliated Monitors. In episode 3, we talk about the expanded use of independent monitoring. In episode 4, we consider the marriage of independent monitoring and ethics and compliance programs. And we wrap up with episode 5 about Affiliated Monitors' growth. It's a fascinating exploration that I know you will enjoy if you want to learn about the history of not simply monitoring, but the way regulators think about the ethics and compliance programs that we all work on. This is Tom Fox. This special 5-part podcast series on the history of Affiliated Monitors is a special presentation of the Compliance Podcast Network. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, back for our concluding episode in our 5-part celebration on the history of Affiliated Monitors. As always, I'm joined by Vin DiCiani, the founder and president of Affiliated Monitors. Vin, welcome.
Tom, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about my company.
Well, Vin, it really seems to me now, after listening to our prior podcasts, that there are 2 or 3 key themes that I've heard you articulate literally when the idea first formed in your head about an independent integrity monitor, through the formation of Affiliated Monitors, and indeed through the growth of the company. And I was wondering if we might just get a few thoughts, or your thoughts rather, on those themes. One is literally the integrity, the professionalism of the AMI team as you've grown it. And then next, the AMI's growth. And that growth has come partly through regulators evolving their approach, moving from a strictly perhaps a business perspective to a more legal perspective, and then an ethics and compliance perspective. So I'm going to sit back and listen to you for a little bit.
Okay. So, the growth of Affiliated has really been based upon those themes: professionalism, integrity, and, just doing quality work, right? So as, we've grown over the years, it started with me and an idea, and it's moved now to, a much larger company, doing lots of different types of monitors, as the monitorships as we've described, doing a number of these proactive types of matters where companies have outsourced, the review of their programs to Affiliated to take a really hard look at their programs. So the way we've grown is by bringing on professionals who have really a deep knowledge of either government contracting or, the requirements of, compliance and ethics programs as they have grown. I've built a team of what I'm going to call experts who come from various, sort of walks of life, if you will, some on the government side, some on the private side, some have straddled the fence, with government time and private practice, doing lots of investigations and those kinds of things. So the build for me and for Affiliated has been very much focused on bringing in great people who have the trust of the government, who have the sort of the bona fides to show the government and to companies that we know what we're doing and that we can benchmark their program against another program, that we can make recommendations that are realistic and not too idealistic and too costly. So that growth has really served us very well. The other thing that we've done, and it's been something that has been very conscious on our part, is to maintain our independence. So we are not a law firm, so we don't compete with other law firms. We're not investigators, so we're not doing the sort of that legwork part of the investigation. We are not expert witnesses. We have stayed in, I'll call it our swim lanes. One is just providing, great independent monitoring services, and two, providing, these assessments that really use the skills that we've learned as monitors, to meet, regulatory requirements. So, all of those elements that I talked about, professionalism, integrity, independence, quality work, it's sort of in our bloodstream. And that's something I think that has helped us greatly.
So the team itself has expanded. The company has grown. We've talked about the expansion or change in monitorships, and I wanted to maybe turn the focus a little bit to the regulators. You have talked about how the regulatory landscape has changed. It expanded to the federal level. It brought in ethics and compliance. And as recently as last year, we saw with the Binkowski memo, the regulators seeming to help companies understand that a proactive approach might even be more beneficial in the regulators' eyes. How have you seen the regulators evolve in this process as well?
It really will depend on which agencies that you're talking about, right? So in some instances, there's turnover, right? And so we see that, and as I said earlier, sometimes it takes us to re-educate or educate these new regulators who have come on board on the benefits of monitoring and that kind of thing. However, what we're seeing now is a greater level of sophistication by regulators on the use of monitoring, and more particularly on the requirements of a strong ethics and compliance program and culture. So I think that, again, I'm going to say through you and through other entities that sort of promote compliance and ethics, there's much more of an awareness now on the need for a company to have a strong compliance program, a good and effective compliance officer and a compliance team, to do training that is, strong and effective, to have a hotline that promotes people speaking up and that kind of culture within the company, to have an investigative arm, to be doing things, perhaps that the company had never done before or thought of before. That's the awareness, Tom, that I think regulators have that they didn't have before. And, at the DOJ level, they're much more sophisticated on compliance programs now than they ever were. I think Wei Chen really made a difference in giving the DOJ attorneys, and I know it's a focus now because Binkowski talks about it, giving a focus on an appreciation for a strong ethics and compliance program, right? We're seeing that with other agencies as well. I know the debarment officials that we work with, they are requiring strong ethics and compliance programs as an element of demonstrating present responsibility under the FAR. State AG's offices are now, while they are focused on regulatory compliance, as they should be, they're also looking at compliance programs. And we're doing a very large mental health group that we're monitoring on a Medicaid fraud case. And one of the focuses, and it's different than 10, 15 years ago, but one of the focuses now on, does the company have a strong compliance program? And does it have the controls to make sure that it's fulfilling its obligations under state, Medicaid rules? That's a different, way of thinking than 10, 15 years ago. I like it. I really do, because I think it's good for everyone. It's creating sort of a set of norms that really can apply now across industries and across agencies. And so I think we benefit from it. And, I think that the concentration now on having stronger ethics and compliance programs really does elevate us in a lot of ways.
Ben, I'd like to change the focus a little bit now to you looking back on 15 years of AMI. And what are you most proud of that AMI has accomplished, and perhaps a look into the veiled future to see where AMI may be going?
We were thinking about some topics for this presentation. I have been very reflective, of the past, 15 years and really 20, 22 years as I came up with the idea. And, there's lots of things I'm proud of. The one thing that sort of stands out to me is the fact that I was able to take an idea, right, that I had, and it just was, it was rolling around in my head for those years before I started Affiliated, and to actualize it, to be able to put it into the form of a company and then help that company, just create a sort of a brand and a process. I'm very proud of that. And that's something that, I can take to my grave and say, wow, I did something that sort of made a difference, right, in companies' lives and that kind of thing. So the other thing that other things that I sort of have been reflective on is the fact that we really have helped a lot of companies and professionals get better. Over the past 3 weeks, we've just wrapped up a few matters. And, we get these unsolicited comments by our clients. And when they say, we didn't want to have a monitor, but, you made us a better company, or, the services you were provided, I didn't understand until I was using them. And now I get it. And thank you. That makes you feel great, right? It really does, because, we do provide great services. We do, try to meet that mandate of, as I said, helping the company get better. And when you do that, that's very fulfilling. The last thing that I'm proud of is I have a remarkable team of people. I know Eric Feldman, former IG, who's been with Affiliated like 7 years now, does great work. Don Stern. I have a great team of people dedicated and passionate about the work that we do. So that makes me very proud. On the future side of things, we get called every day for different matters here and there. We never know what the next day is going to bring. And so there's a level of uncertainty, which is a good thing, because you never know what the next case could be. So tonight it could be a utility case. Tomorrow it could be an MD that needs to be monitored. The next day it could be a government contractor that is facing suspension. It could be something internationally where a company wants to look at its program. So we never know, and I like that a lot. So, again, Tom, it's been a great 15 years, and I'm really looking forward to more of this.
Well, Ben, I am as well. I wanted to thank you for taking time to really let me help you celebrate this. It's been a great experience, and it's a great story. And frankly, I can't wait to see where you take it next.
Thanks, Tom.
Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. If you'd like more information on Affiliated Monitors, check out their website, www.affiliatedmonitors.com. I hope you have enjoyed in this fascinating and celebratory 5-part podcast series on the 15 years of Affiliated Monitors, which details the history of not only independent monitoring, but ethics and compliance programs. This is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist. This podcast series is a special presentation of the Compliance Podcast Network.